Hey everyone, it's Harvey, CEO of Annex USA, back with our first live stream, Annex School Live, in 3 years. So I'm excited to meet you back here on Annex School Live. Today, we're going to talk about aesthetic intelligence with Dr. Christian Coachman, and let's get to it. Hey, Christian, how are you? Oh, we can't hear you. Do I have you now?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much for joining us today for Annex School Live.
Great pleasure.
All the way from Madrid.
Yes, I'm here in Madrid. Beautiful and sunny.
Well, for the members of our audience who don't know who you are, which I think will be few, Christian Coachman is a dentist, technician, author, educator, very well known as being the founder of DSD, Digital Smile Design, and also the co-creator of the most aesthetic pink composite on the market, Annex Gum. And you know, when I asked you to do this interview and you said yes, I thought there is one person of great aesthetic intelligence that I can think of that you know very well, who I would just love to have be my co-host today. So I am beaming a very special co-host all the way from Switzerland today. It's Andreas Kopietz, the founder of Annex Dent Germany.
Hello.
Here he is.
Hi, Christian.
My dear friend, so good to see you.
You guys have done a lot of work together, I know, and what you accomplished with Annex Gum just shows it's a great example in product form of what real, true aesthetic intelligence looks like. So thank you for your work with that. We love it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks to Christian.
Yeah. I wanted to start today just by mentioning the post I saw online. What brought this interview to be was a post I saw on your Instagram. And it said, art schools have spent centuries refining how to train the human eye and hand. Dentistry has not. You can bridge that gap. And I was like, yes. It's something that concept of understanding what looks natural, what looks right, and why is something that we are really passionate about at Annex. And it's something that is becoming more and more rare, in my opinion. And I'd never heard a term describing it as aesthetic intelligence, but that's exactly what it is, aesthetic intelligence.
Yes.
In that post, you mentioned about 6 different locations all over the world where you're doing a 2-day aesthetic intelligence course. And anywhere from Liverpool, Madrid, Kuala Lumpur, Zagreb, you're going to be in the US in NYC, June 2nd and 3rd. So I thought, man, I'm going to call him, see if he would be willing to talk about aesthetic intelligence. Tell us a little bit about what the trends are that you see, why it's important, how you improve it if you want to. And then Andreas said he'd help me with that. So let's get started. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. I love the topic, of course, so I'm very excited to explore it.
Awesome. Well, the first question is obvious. What is aesthetic intelligence? How would you summarize it?
Aesthetic intelligence means all the skills that you need to have an artistic perception, to be able to understand beauty, perceive beauty, translate beauty to your hands, and be able to communicate beauty. So what is comfortable to your eyes, understand what is comfortable to your eyes, what is comfortable to people in general, and what is uncomfortable to people's eyes, and be able to really understand exactly the nuances of what creates aesthetics and what doesn't. And that is something that is completely different than clinical skills. or different than what software and AI can do as well so far. So that's the definition of aesthetic intelligence, is this human capacity that can be trained. It can be, of course, also a gift. Some people have it more naturally. Some people have it less naturally. But in my understanding as an educator, aesthetic intelligence is something that can be practiced, that can be improved, that can be learned. And we don't talk enough about it in dentistry. We take it for granted. We pretend that we have it, when most dentists, even the best clinicians that I know, don't necessarily have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think it's like so much of art and design. Sometimes you look at something and it feels good, it feels right, but you have no clue why. Sometimes you look at something and but in those situations, it's probably okay not to know why, because it looks right and everything looks good. But in dentistry, when something looks wrong, you can have that sort of innate aesthetic intelligence to know something's wrong there.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what it is, you can't fix it. So I love that you are teaching about aesthetic intelligence, not just the perception of it, but how to make adjustments and improve.
Yeah. I organized the process, the journey of aesthetic intelligence evolution, right? And people will understand exactly what you're saying. Now, the first level, and we see dentists on that level, is that the person don't even see what is wrong. And you see that, unfortunately, on social media when people post before and afters, and the after is not good at all. And if the person is posting it, it's because the person is proud of it. That means that the person is not seeing it, right?
So he gave everything. I mean, he gave everything.
Yes, that was the best.
With his skills.
That was the best. So that's level 0 from me. I don't see what's wrong. Then you evolve a little bit and you start having a sense something is wrong, but I don't know what is wrong. That's what I call level 1. And many dentists are there. They can sense that something's wrong. They don't know exactly what is wrong. Then you evolve a little bit and you start to know what is wrong. You can look at a smile, you can see orofacial harmony, and you can understand that something is wrong and understand what is wrong. And the next level you go then is, I know what is wrong and I know how to fix it. Different. Some people know that is wrong. Some people know what is wrong and don't know exactly how to make the change. That is very common on the relationship dentist technicians, when dentists are like, I don't like this. This is not good because of XYZ. Please fix it, right? Yeah. Please fix it. Then you evolve to the next level, and that is, I can fix it. I know how to fix it. You evolve even more, and then I can fix it and make it exceptional.
Right.
And then you go to the ultimate level. I can fix it, I can make it exceptional, and I can teach others to make it good as well. That's the ultimate level of aesthetic intelligence, in my understanding.
So that's number 3 or number 4?
That's number 4.
Which level is it?
5.
That's 4.
5. So 0 is, I don't know what's wrong. 1, that's 0. 1 is, I sense something is wrong. 2 is, I know what is wrong. 3 is, I know how to fix it. 4 is, I know how to make it exceptional. And 5 is, I can also teach others to make it, to improve it.
So I'm a level 3. I'm gonna assign myself level 3.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Finally, and this is, how many years have I been doing this, Andreas? When did I meet you?
That's good. Level 3 is good.
So I'm a level 3, and sometimes I'm a level 4. It depends on if I've been to a course or something where I've learned about that specific thing. But so many different aspects in dentistry. There's gingiva, there's anterior teeth, there's posterior teeth, there's uppers, there's lowers. I mean, there's so many areas where you have to build aesthetic intelligence specific to that area of the mouth. So it's a challenge. I'm proud to be a level 3, but it makes me happy to know that there is a path where you're helping people.
Exactly.
To level 4 and 5.
You need to practice this.
Let's talk about level 5s. Okay.
Okay.
High aesthetic intelligence. And maybe we're talking about 4s and 5s because not everybody's a teacher. Okay. Some people might have the knowledge.
4s and 5s. Yeah. Well, most of the people that are very good at something, they are not necessarily very good at teaching that something, right? Mm-hmm. The cool thing about pushing yourself to teach is that you push your brain to become even better doing it. Even if you're not a great teacher, the fact that you're thinking about it, you're trying to structure your know-how, you're trying to transform it into a cognitive process of why I'm good at that something. And that makes you even slightly better on that something. So that's why I put this as the ultimate level.
That makes sense. So when you see somebody with high aesthetic intelligence, I think it's easy to talk about this in relation to social media. You already had given social media as an example. And I think we're broadcasting on social media now. So obviously anybody seeing this is on social media. And we've all seen those posts you've talked about that show a pretty low aesthetic intelligence. The ones that display a really high aesthetic intelligence, what do you notice if you look at somebody's photos or description of a case that show you this person is a level 4 or 5?
So to be a level 4 and 5, you need to understand the nuances that are very hard to explain that creates beauty and harmony, right? So for example, playing safe with aesthetics means creating perfect symmetry because that's very easy even for the computer to give you that. The key when you start seeing high aesthetic intelligence is people that are able to create beauty without symmetry, for example.
Okay.
People that are able to create harmony as a whole. People that understand the relationship, the delicate relationship between the teeth and the gum. For me, one of the toughest things about a smile design is to understand that nuance and understand how to create that harmony between white and pink aesthetics from a social distance that things just blend in, that looks very, very natural. Of course, that usually artistic people, they also behave slightly different. The body language is different. The words are different. They can explain aesthetics in a different way. You can see how creativity, and the brain is open for that. They're not following recipes and rules. They understand how to bend the rules to create beauty. So in a 10-minute conversation, I can start betting if somebody is more or less artistic just by everything that the person is doing, Of course, the way people move their hands, you can start seeing artistry in the way people move their hands. If they have a good sense for music and for lighting and for decoration and for fashion, and it's not a necessary style, a specific style. Each person has their own style, but you can start seeing when people have a good eye for things that make sense aesthetically,
So Christian, the courses, what you teach, is it about you show failures and then you train the eyes of these people, or what how do you start? I mean,
that's a good question, because that's how this course started. Okay. The reason why I placed this course, because as Andreas know, and you mentioned offline perfectly, DSD, digital dentistry, technology, systems and protocols. For 15 years, I was teaching, going on that direction. And you said, Andreas, it looks like this whole movement and this whole course is going on the opposite direction. And that's exactly it. Once you implement all kinds of systems and technologies and workflows, you get to the 90%, but the final 10% is what you have to add with the human touch. And
that's interesting. I was 4.5 years away, and I've been to a lab, and I was a quite good guy. I would say 4. Yeah. But he was working with his computer and with a machine. And this is what we talked about 12 or I don't know, many years ago, Christian, when we said everybody looks like DSD or has these libraries, all patients look the same. And I told him, look what you do with your skills. That's a nightmare, I said. And he said, no, that's what they like. I said, no, you are lazy. No, you are lazy. So I think
even if you use that, if you use the same libraries, if you follow the protocols, you get to the 90%. But still, when you try in these restorations in the mouth, there's still so much to fine tune them, and that's when I started to analyze what is missing. How do you get that final touch? What makes the difference to the people that can see it and have the passion to do the things for the people that can see it, not for everybody. And what happened to me, going back to your question, why this course started to happen, was because in my lab from old days, boutique, small lab, me, 2-3 more people, and 100% handwork, handmade work, etc., all the way to now a completely digitalized lab, bigger production, still extremely proud of the quality that we are delivering today. But my role became quality control. So what I do in the lab is basically, since 2 years, is every design that is made here, every restoration that is manufactured, we have a protocol of images and the 3D link that comes to my phone, and it doesn't matter where I'm in the world, I have to quality control them. And that's when I started to document every single mistake that was done by my team. And I had to communicate back to them and teach them how to fix it. Situation. And I started to catalog every scenario, every situation, every mistake. And I started to create the processes. When we have a mistake like this, we need to fix like that. When you have a situation like this, we need to see it like that. When we have a limitation like this, we need to use optical illusion like that. And I started to develop the concepts and the content that became this course. That's how the course.
That's interesting. Where can I sign? Where can I sign in?
As you started making or cataloging those issues and solutions, those problems and solutions, did you notice, was your team picking up on that and they had to refer to that documentation less and less? Was it training them to see it?
So there's a bunch of things that you can systematize, right? You create protocols, you can create quality control systems, you create checklists, right? That helps a lot, but you're still stuck to that 70-80% of the issues. The rest is very hard to build a system to see and to fix. It's artistic perception, it's artistic, it's your eyes, it's aesthetic intelligence. Okay. But what I started to notice, my question was, how far can I bring my team, right? How high I can bring the team. So let's create all the systems and checklists as best as we can, bring everybody to that level. And then my next question is, if they start seeing the way I see things, if they start seeing my drawings, if they start seeing how I fix things, can they become more artistic as well? Can they raise the level of aesthetic intelligence that they have? And the answer after these 3 years experience is that yes, I have the people that are working with me for a longer time, and they are seeing things nowadays in a very similar way than I see. When the situation comes, I ask them, what do you see? What is right and what is wrong? How to fix it? And they're picking up and they're becoming as good as me on that perception. And that motivated me to build the course.
And speaking of motivation, I know from my own experience, when I first started working with Andreas, I remember calling Jens, the technician that was working for Andreas at the time, and saying, hey, how do I tell what's good? Like I like all these people are posting. I don't know what's good.
Yeah.
And he just kind of laughed at me and he
Mhm.
said, just keep looking at the pictures. Just keep looking at the pictures and you'll
Yeah.
figure it out over time. And honestly, that's really what it took, is
Yeah.
training my eye, just constant exposure. But this brings us perfectly to my next question, which is what can you do to improve your own aesthetic intelligence?
Mhm.
Obviously, if you work for Christian Coachman, you're getting some instruction. And if you go to your course, you're getting instruction. But for people, like if I could rewind 13 years ago to me, who was just told, look at pictures, what are some other things, if people can't come to the course and they don't work for you, what are some things you would suggest they do to improve?
So how do you make your brain more artistic? Basically, that's the question, right? Aesthetic intelligence is that how do you become more artistic? It's something that depends on your eyes, your brain, and your hands. Your eyes need to see artistically, your brain needs to process artistically, and your hands need to execute artistically, right? The process actually is composed when aesthetic intelligence framework for me, it's made out of 4 things. You need to see, you need to understand, you need to design, and you need to communicate. So seeing means artistic perception. And that is exactly what you did. It's a matter of looking at things and asking yourself why it looks good, why it looks bad. And your aesthetic IQ can grow if you start pushing yourself to do anything that is related to art. For example, drawings. If you start drawing, if you start observing things and trying to draw, anything that can activate the artistic side of your brain, it's like a muscle. If you don't even touch that area on your brain, it stays where it is, or it even shrinks.
Right.
So getting uncomfortable, anything that makes you uncomfortable makes you creative. Anything that makes you uncomfortable, getting outside your comfort zone, from the most dumb, simple things in life, changing the hand that you brush your teeth, like trying to brush your teeth with your left hand, activates.
It wakes up your brain.
Huh?
It
Yeah,
wakes
sure.
up your brain.
Yeah.
But you need to be honest and have someone on your side and tell you, hey, there's something wrong.
Mentorship is another thing. Find somebody that is artistic and start questioning that person, asking why that person likes this more than that.
Be honest. Just be honest and say, hey,
explore,
judge me or judge my work?
And then, of course, it's training, repeat. If you cannot draw a straight line on a piece of paper, just draw that line 100 times until you can draw a straight line on a piece of paper. If you cannot look an object and outline the object on a piece of paper, how are you going to shape teeth? How are you going to build teeth with your own hands if you cannot draw teeth in 2D? So practicing 2D drawings is the first step to become good artistically in 3D, because art needs to be 3D. In dentistry, we skip the 2D. Actually, we have no artistic training at all, as I said on the post. And we claim to be aesthetic dentists, right? If you would do a real test on aesthetic skills, eye, brain, and hands, you will see that very few aesthetic dentists are actually aesthetic dentists for real.
Yeah.
Well, and
Horst Dietrich would say, don't forget the function, Christian. Don't forget the function.
Don't forget the function. Okay.
Look, I'm not saying that dentistry is aesthetics. We are talking about one little piece of dentistry. We are talking about aesthetic intelligence. You don't solve the patient's problems with aesthetics. I'm not saying that. Now, if you want to become more artistic, if you want to become a better aesthetic dentist, you need to learn about aesthetics as part of the whole, right? An aesthetic dentist, that I talk about that on the course. One thing one thing is aesthetic dentistry. The other thing is aesthetics in dentistry. Aesthetic dentistry means function, structure, biology, systems, procedures, techniques, materials, workflows, instruments, technologies, diagnostics, treatment planning, team communication, patient management, knowledge, science, and skills. That is aesthetic dentistry, function, and everything, right? Now, if you want to talk about aesthetics in dentistry, that's one piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
That is unfortunately what is going to create the quality stamp on your work, because the world is going to see that part of the work.
Of the work, yeah.
So I get very passionate about this topic, Andreas, because people think that I don't care about some people, unfortunately.
Some people, but I think you changed it. I mean, from the beginning, you know which fight we fought at the beginning.
Function was my passion before even aesthetics. The only reason why I focus on aesthetics was because the dentists that I was working with were so good with function that function was under control, and they were messing up on the aesthetic side. So I said, I know function. I love function. I'm very good at function. Let me get also amazing on the thing that will make the difference on top of function. And that is aesthetics.
Yeah.
So it's all about function. But aesthetics is what represents our work to the world.
So that sort of leads to my next question. It's not really a question. It's a topic I want to discuss. Because, of course, function is the foundation.
Yeah.
But a lot of the feedback I hear from some of our really talented lab technician customers is that they feel underappreciated, or they're fighting to keep business where, you know, they're losing out to these really low price production labs where the aesthetic is just not the same.
Yeah.
So I think that there very all too often is a lab and clinic aesthetic intelligence mismatch. Sometimes the aesthetic intelligence is higher on the clinical side. Sometimes it's higher on the lab side.
Yes.
But in your experience observing those relationships over time, what are some of the, number one, what are some of the like big red flags when you've got a mismatch between lab and clinic? And number two, what would you suggest clinicians do or labs do to remedy that? If they're getting good results, they have a good relationship, they want to bring each other up to the same level, what are some ideas on how teams can work together?
So that's a great question, because transforming smiles is a team sport, right? It's impossible to do it alone, and more in modern dentistry with all the technology, impossible to do it alone. Smiles depends on different specialties in dentistry, and it depends on an amazing relationship between dentists and technicians. So the first question that you need to ask is that if modern restorative dentistry is a team sport, you want to build a dream team. You need to ask two questions. Who's the captain of the team? Who are the players of this team? Depending on what league you want to play. So dentistry, average level, mid-level dentistry is commoditizing, and there's no way back. And more you're gonna see dental chains and big labs producing pretty decent quality, because that's what technology does. It brings the quality, average quality, in a more democratic way higher.
Yes.
So do you want to be a boutique and compete with those big ones, big players? You need to ask yourself, are you ready to become a 3-star Michelin restaurant? Because everybody that is not a 3-star Michelin restaurant will become part of a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
Because there's no more space for average neighborhood family restaurants anymore, because chains are doing better, cooler, and cheaper. And that's the reality. So do you want to become a Michelin star lab? Do you want to become a Michelin star restorative practice? Most people say, yes, I want, or I am. So the second question is, if you're feeling the pressure and feeling the competition, maybe it's because you're not there yet. Because a 3-star Michelin restaurant has a line of people wanting to go there.
Yes.
And they are not worried about technology. They are not worried about commoditization. They know they are special. They know they are different. They know how to brand themselves. They know how to position themselves. They know how to deliver the experience. Everything is different and special when you go to a 3-star Michelin. When you watch Willy Geller working, you're like, this guy is not worried about technology. There's a line of people wanting to do a case with him. You know,
That's right.
He knew the difference, and he had the confidence, and he had the quality to deliver the experience. Of course, that Willy Geller is one of a kind, but there's space. There will always be space for 3-star Michelin restaurants, 3-star Michelin restorative dentists, and 3-star Michelin technicians. And once you get there, you can choose how much technology you want to use, how you're going to use it, when you're going to use it, how you're going to do your stuff, you know, because you're there. So it's about investing on all these skills that I'm talking about.
And
first ask yourself, which do I be in a chain restaurant or 3-star Michelin?
I'm not judging.
Can I cook in this way? You know, that's the question.
But the point
judge
you make,
yourself, you know, let's be honest to yourself.
And the point you make is really important. I think that when 12 years ago, 10 years ago even, there was space for 3-star Michelin restaurants. And there was like, I don't know, what's an example of a chain restaurant that people really like? I mean, there were different sort of categories.
Capital Grill.
There we go. There's Capital Grills. And you could be very successful and have a very lucrative lab or practice with a Capital Grill sort of mentality. Yeah. And that's what I've seen really vanish. Now it's either or. You've got two choices. You've got a choice to really push for excellence, or a choice and work with. So for the lab,
I don't know. I think that we have labs that are growing, becoming a Capital Grill, competitive price, decent quality, consistency, a lot of systems in place with amazing technology. They will not give you the Michelin smile, but they will give you a very decent smile that is killing the small boutique lab that is average.
Yeah.
Okay? So the small boutique lab that is average is dangerous. You're going to have always space for cheap. When you're super cheap, you can be small, you can be whatever. And you always have somebody that wants ultra cheap, right? So there's some business there. There's some business at the top as Michelin, or you end up working for a big organization. And there's no problem there as well. As Andreas said, I'm not judging.
No.
You know, there's a lot of happy people working for bigger organizations. You don't need to be the Michelin.
There's nothing wrong about. It's nothing wrong
about, you know. But complaining that you're not a Michelin without having the skills to be the Michelin and blaming the market, blaming technology, blaming the systems, blaming whatever. No, there's nobody to blame. You know, you need to make your choice, and you need to set the foundation to succeed according to your choice. There is a path to become a Michelin technician. There is a path to become a Michelin restorative dentist. It's not easy. It's beautiful. It's an amazing journey. It's extremely hard and tough, and it's not for everybody.
And I think it's an increasingly lonely journey. I think about a decade ago, I would see these kind of technicians kind of traveled in packs, and they'd go to courses together. They came to our courses together. Like, they really traveled in packs and pushed each other, and they were on this journey together. They may live in completely different areas of the world or the country, but they were in it together. What I've observed now is a lot of, especially in the lab side. Now, clinical, maybe there are enough clinicians out there that they do sort of have study clubs and learn in groups. but I think it can be a really lonely path to excellence for a technician now. They like Chicago is our one time to feel like we're all together anymore.
There's that AC/DC song. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
It is.
It's a long and lonely way. There's no easy way to the top. There's no easy way to the top.
It's always like this,
It's a lonely journey. It's a lonely journey, and you need to find the strength and the passion inside of you to go at the top. If you talk to all the top athletes or musicians, and you had how easy it was the journey to get to the top, and they're gonna laugh at you. Easy, where? And 99% of the time you are alone, trying to understand how to become better. It's an internal journey, but I think it's a beautiful journey, but it's, as Andreas said, you need to make a decision before, understand the options, where you want to be in 5-10 years, and then stick to the plan and have the discipline to go on the path that you defined as your path.
Because I asked this sort of already knowing the answer to both of you, but is it worth it? You've both been on that journey and you've been successful. You've reached a point. I know neither one of you are done, but you have reached a point in the journey where I can say you got there. So was it worth it?
Of course. It's the stony way. It's the stony way. It's not
the stony way.
Yeah, it's pretty stony. Yeah, it's difficult, you just have to get up again and see, even you have, let's say you are a 3 or 4, even they have failures too.
Absolutely.
And then you can say, I'm happy with that, the result. It's okay. But you have to push yourself constantly to the limit.
I really like what Christian said about making yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's something I believe
it's pretty difficult.
But pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and doing something like creativity is something that's never been done before. And in by its own definition, you're doing something for the first time. So putting yourself out there.
You can't grow without pain. Zero chance.
That's why I'm here in this interview.
And you see great thinkers saying the same.
Yeah.
I like 2 philosophies that I learned, the last few years. First, there's no growth without suffering. There's no growth without suffering. Zero chance. That you're going to find a way to become better that doesn't involve some level of suffering, right? And the other lesson that I learned is don't follow your passion, follow your talent. That is so smart, right? This BS of people telling young people, follow your passion, follow your passion. That is not smart because, if I'm horrible doing a certain sport, I can practice it the whole life and I will not make money with it. I will not have a great life, right? And one of the things that gives you the energy to continue to become better is when you can make a good living out of it. Whatever gives you a good living, you end up liking a lot to do it anyway. So that's looking at your talent. I think, Andreas, you mentioned more or less that if you cannot do things with your hands, don't become a restorative dentist. Very hard to learn hand skills when you're 35 years old. Very hard. Almost impossible.
I don't know. If you improve and you get the talent too, I think do it.
So that's why I think that dentistry is so generous. There's so many different professions inside the profession. There's so many different things to do. From clinical work, more technical clinical, more artistic clinical, surgery, ortho, research, academics, corporate, marketing, training, coaching. There's so many professions inside the profession that at a young age, a smart thing to do is to ask yourself, what is my talent, my potential talent? And how can I make decisions that will facilitate the process of me becoming the best version of myself, right? How can I become the best version of myself? Because I'm going to love that regardless of what work I do. I'm going to love to feel like I'm the best version of myself. I'm doing something that I can really do very, very well. And you need to make the smart questions from time to time to understand if you are making smart decisions about where you're putting your energy.
Yeah.
That makes total
So
sense.
I think would be nice if the older guys take some young guys and just really like what Eric did, with Victor, with you, with all these guys in Antwerp, these young people, and he was just teaching them and holding them. I mean, Eric is tough, you know better than me.
Yes.
But everybody learned from it, and everybody, let's say from number 5, is a teacher. Bring these young peoples up, because if you're young, you don't know your talent, Christian. Don't tell me. You have no idea. You're just like,
mentorship is the shortcut to success. Mentorship is the shortcut to success. So younger people need to have the skill, because mentors are usually.
I think it's a must. It's a must to have someone,
So I think a lot of people, I mean, everybody knows what mentorship means, but I think in my experience, a lot of people have never thought about approaching somebody they really respect and asking them, would you be my mentor? Can I?
It's a tough question. It's responsibility,
That's the thing that I was trying to say. Good mentors are usually successful on what they do. And because of that, they're very busy. And because of that, they have very little time, and they have to really handpick the people that they want to bring under their wings. So what I tell young people is that you need to learn how to increase the chances of good mentors to pick you. And that means that you need to find a way, even though you're young and you know very little, and the mentor is older and knows a lot, you need to find their blind spot. You need to find the opportunity of how to bring value, right?
And then you have to be at lectures. You have to be at lectures, at courses.
But what great advice, because the digital competency of a lot of young technicians and dentists is really high, can be really high.
Yeah.
And it could be that a mentor they have as a person that's a goal to be their mentor is not as informed. They're older and they're not as informed in that. What a great way to bring value to that relationship.
Just look at the mentor and think about all the things that mentor would like to do, but doesn't have the time to do it.
That's
what
great
are the things that the mentor needs to get done, but is struggling with time, because that's usually the most precious thing of successful people, is lack of time. So and on my old days was building lectures for mentors. That was my, people talk about me as a technician, as a smile designer, as a teacher, but really what made me successful was opening doors with mentors. And the one skill that brought me to them was the fact that I was very good building lectures for them. And that made me essential at a young age to a bunch of extremely great professionals.
You know who did this, Christian? Garber and Goldstein in the 80s with Pincus, you remember? They teach, the teacher was the lecturer. I was there. I was like, wow, very good people in the room, And they started in the 80s with it. I mean, probably earlier, but I joined them in the 80s.
That's it, yeah.
Funny. Yeah.
So I think that's, you look at the people that you would love to have as mentors, you learn about them just enough, you start to see where they want to go, the projects that they're running, the things that are the bottlenecks and how you can help them to get things done, you're in the team.
That's and I have to be completely honest. My strategy for getting mentors throughout my career was to make them like me enough that they would like humor me to hang around and learn from them.
That's 100% as well. 100% as well.
But I never selfishly, I never once thought like, oh, hey, I could help them with this. And then it's going to naturally turn into a mentorship relationship because there's an exchange of knowledge. So that's fantastic advice.
Them liking you is definitely key for you to stay in the team.
Yes.
If you are on the page
now, these days, people have a digital footprint. Learning enough about them, like back when you were talking about making lectures for people, you had to go to trade shows and see that somebody needed help with their lecture. Now you can get on Facebook, Instagram, or their website and learn enough about them very quickly to come up with some ideas about the value you could bring. So I think in my journey toward higher aesthetic intelligence, mentorship has been the number one driver for any of my advancement. And
100%.
Both of you, thank you. Whether you knew you were mentors to me or not, you definitely were and are. So thank you.
Oh, pleasure.
So I'm curious. You've already done a couple. Have you done 2 dates so far already of the Aesthetic Intelligence course, or just one?
From that calendar, I did Brisbane, Australia. I did Liverpool. The course has 2 modules, 2 days and 2 days. So these places I did module 1. Tomorrow I'm going to Albania. And then next month is Madrid.
When is it Madrid? When is Madrid? When?
Madrid, I can give, let me look. Let me look at the Madrid is May 22, 23. Then I go to NYU, June 2 and 3. Then Kuala Lumpur, October 26, 27. Zagreb, November 6, 7. And Freiburg, February next year.
Next year. Germany.
So I'm curious, what has the reaction been? I'm sure like it takes you a long time to actually leave the location afterwards, because I'm sure you get a lot of questions and people wanting to talk to you. When they come up and talk to you after the course, what's their reaction been? What's some of the feedback been?
I think that the content, people are surprised about the fact that I was able to develop some workshops and exercises that can actually make them see things in a different way. It's like an awakening. I'm seeing the smile in a different way, even though it's only 2 days. And of course, I plant the seeds, and people need to exercise, the things that I suggest, and then they will come back for the module number 2, where we're gonna do even more in-depth hands-on than with model. So module 1 are the concepts and 2D hands-on, as I call, with drawings. It's a lot of drawings. And module 2 is then 3D hands-on on models. So you need to shape things with your own hands. And we go through a structured process of identifying the issues and reshaping the issues and fixing the issues that will allow people not only to see, but to actually do it regardless if they do analog or digital. It doesn't matter. This course, it doesn't matter how much you do digital or how much you do analog. It's all the same know-how to see and to do with your hands like this or with the mouse. You need to see things the same way.
Absolutely. And I know one of the things that's always been a concern as dentists and technicians alike are both learning digital protocols, digital design, and they're skipping a lot of the analog processes that have fallen to, being less common. Do you feel like that skipping of analog processes has contributed to somewhat of a deficit of aesthetic intelligence?
100%. And that's something that I always mention on the courses, because of digital smile design, people always think that I love digital and I only believe in digital and I always work digital and I'm a tech freak, whatever. And that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. The only reason why I embraced digital dentistry is because I was able to be pragmatic enough to see that you could leverage technology and take your artistic skills to the even higher level, work with less stress, be more predictable, more consistent. And above all, the one thing that I love the most about technology is improving communication, to do things better with your hands afterwards. And I always mention that the best way to learn, so digital is the best way to produce things, to execute things, but analog is the best way to learn. So you need to learn in the analog environment to then produce in the digital environment. So dental schools that are very proud that everything is completely digitalized, I'm not necessarily a big fan, because in school is where you need to learn the most. And if somebody would have a dental school with zero technology, I wouldn't think it's bad at all, because learning technology is so easy and so fast. And younger people, they learn anything, any gadget, any software, any app, anything you can learn in the digital environment pretty fast. And digital changes so much that if you learn digital solutions in the first year of dental school, on the 5th year is already different. So for me, what makes sense in dental school is to practice the physical analog experience of doing things. So for example, Facebook. Facebook is a completely useless old tool in dentistry, right? It's an unprecise, not effective, unnecessary tool in dentistry today. But in dental school, I believe students should practice the process of putting face bows, understanding the face bows, going to the struggle of adjusting the face bow, understanding why the face bow was developed, what was the intention of the face bow, how to transfer that information to the lab, and how to use the face bow in the lab. Because at the end, good restorative softwares, what they're doing is trying to translate that concept into the digital 3D environment.
Yeah.
But you have to understand it before. You have to understand it with Facebook. You need the relation, it's necessary.
Hand wax up. I tell every dentist, every restorative dentist should practice wax ups once a month.
That's a statement.
Just practice.
Once a month.
You're never going to use a wax up to a patient nowadays. Makes absolutely no sense. You do a facially driven 3D digital design that is much better, much more natural, much more functional, much faster, much cheaper, much everything, much better than a handmade wax up. But practicing a handmade wax up will open your mind, improve your visualization, allow you to see 3D, allow you to express yourself in 3D, allow you to struggle with the morphology. And because of that, be able to see what is right and what is wrong.
That's right. When you struggle, when you're trying to match the details and it's not working, that's when you see so many of those details for the very first time.
You're creating the connections here.
Yeah. So Christian, you have the power in the world to teach all these Markus Platzes and however they're called, these people, that this is important. I mean, Markus knows anyway, I would say, but there are many other professors and they go so digital right now. And it's difficult, I mean, at the end, you have to go back to the analog skills.
You have to combine, you have to start from there. That's if you want to become a Michelin star restorative dentist, a Michelin star smile rehabilitator, a Michelin star technician. You need to master the analog skills of seeing, processing, and manufacturing.
So on the lab technician side, there's something that's sort of clicking for me, a few different things that you've talked about. Number one of the reasons I love working with lab technicians is that I love working with artistic people, like creative people, artistic people. And every technician is their own little brand of a little weird, and I love it. But I think, number one, if you know it's you. If I'm describing you, you kind of see yourself in that description, right? You're a little bit different. You're creative. You notice things. You love art. You love music, fashion, whatever. You have an artistic eye. If you have that, you talked about following your talent. Okay. So if you start with that, you have a responsibility almost to pursue that talent, because that's what it is. And develop your aesthetic intelligence. So I almost feel like if you are artistic and you want to pursue greatness, you should do your best to reach that Michelin star restaurant level.
I totally believe it doesn't matter if you're going to get there or not. It's not the destination, it's the journey, right?
Yeah.
So I 100% believe that when you see that you have a talent, pursuing it is almost an obligation, right? Making the best out of it for the ones that believe, it's a gift of God. You have that in you, and you have the opportunities to further develop it, and you shouldn't be stuck on your comfort zone. You should just go. And at the end of the day, it's a selfish thing, because it's going to make you happier. So you're doing it for yourself, right? For yourself. But the financial outcome needs to be present, but it needs to be not the main objective, right?
Right.
Unless making more money out of money is your talent, then you're going to be able, these people have the pleasure of combining both, right?
Right.
Yes.
And fulfill their talent, become better, and become
making more money.
Right? But dentistry, this is my belief. If you choose dentistry, if you want to do high-end dentistry, you have to give up on the priority of money. You have to give up on the priority. And every time you put money as first goal, quality drops. Quality drops. High quality dentistry, high quality restorative dentistry is not scalable, in my opinion. Period. It's not scalable. There's a gold standard of size and production that will give you a very generous lifestyle, not a private jet lifestyle. So if you want a private jet lifestyle, you should maybe pick another profession, because healthcare shouldn't be, people that choose healthcare should put the private jet lifestyle aside. You signed for it. It was your choice, right? And you should be okay with it. And you should be happy with it. But people, they are contaminating dentistry with this commercial perspective of making so much money, like Wall Street people do type of money. And it makes absolutely no sense, because healthcare shouldn't be contaminated by that.
And I do see, we talked earlier about yes.
Thank you.
We talked earlier about the when there's a mismatch between lab and clinic. One of the things that I feel like is the saddest sort of problem in dentistry is when there's not a mismatch. There's a clinician who has very high aesthetic intelligence and standards. They're paired with a lab who has very high aesthetic intelligence and standards and capability and skill, but they charge too much. And the doctor is always looking to change, because everything's working great, but they sure could make some more money. That dynamic, I think, is the saddest dynamic in our industry.
Yeah.
And often,
so you have that dynamic. You have So you have the partnership starts, usually the dentist is a little younger, technician is a little younger. Somehow they match in terms of objectives and vision and goals. They're both learning. They have the talent. They're both learning. They start growing. They start to do better and better. The dentist starts to think about how to grow, how to scale, because now I'm very good. I'm known. I have a reputation. More clients are coming. That's the moment that you need to decide if you want to become a Michelin or do you want to scale, right? Most people end up scaling, buying a second location, remodeling the practice, putting 2-3 more chairs. Now you have a bunch of associates. Again, no judgment, but that's not Michelin anymore, right? The same way the technician, we see that happening. Look, being a technician, dentistry is known as one of the most stressful professions out there, right? I would say that among all the specialties, restorative dentistry is the most stressful from all the specialties of dentistry by far. Restorative dental technician is even more stressful than the restorative dentist lifestyle, right? It's insane. I worked for 20 years full-time, high-end technician, ceramist. You don't have a life, basically.
Living in a pressure pot.
Pressure. You live in the lab. Every technician has the stories of how many nights you sleep in the lab. Every other night I was sleeping in the lab. Nowadays, for me, it's insane to even think about it, right? And it's crazy. It's very, very tough. And then you hit the ceiling. You cannot charge more. The dentist doesn't want to pay more. So you fall into the temptation as well. I'm going to grow my lab. And I see that cycle happening. You start hiring more people, you grow the lab. I don't want to do all the work myself. Then the top clients feel the difference, start to complain, they leave the lab. The relationship is broken. Then the dentist calls the lab, said, this case, I want you to do it, not the other people in your lab. So once in a while, you do it yourself and you keep the relationship. But at one point you say, fuck that, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not enough money. Then you grow the lab, but then you see many times, if you don't have the business mentality and you flip from technician to business, you see many colleagues with a big higher level of frustration because the results are not as good. They get really frustrated with their own lab. And many times they get rid of the lab, they sell the lab, or they leave with somebody else and they open a new boutique little lab. Oh, I'm working by myself again.
It's like a hard reset button for their career.
They are number 4. The output is 1.
Yeah.
So, but the
coming
point
back to the levels
earlier, when you said high aesthetic dentistry is not scalable.
Yeah.
That's a big statement. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that before, but as we're talking today, I'm realizing it's absolutely true. And just because a business isn't incredibly scalable doesn't mean that it doesn't give you the lifestyle and the fulfillment and the career that you want.
Exactly. That's the pressure of modern Western capitalist society. Nothing against it. That growth means bigger numbers. If you're not growing 10-20%, you are a loser.
Yeah.
You see, every company is the same. Like, if my company is this size, making their revenue, I'm having a good life. Everybody that works here is having a good life. And next year, I have exactly the same numbers. The whole world will say that I'm failing.
Yes.
If we are here delivering quality and having a decent life, we are unfortunately a failure for the modern perception of success, because we are not growing the 10-20%.
It's the same at Anax. That's what I tell you, Tay. The market is this size of people who we serve.
Yeah.
We would love to have these big high-end output laboratories for the turnovers, but we don't get them today. We
No.
are for this high aesthetic laboratories, offices. That's the materials for. This was at the beginning when we opened Annex. This was the goal.
But
We
you
make
are
materials
naturally
for the
like that,
best.
Andreas. You were naturally like that, and you kept your reputation. You stayed as a boutique company serving high quality. It was fun. It was the values were there. The friendship relationship was there. But it's hard, in Europe there's a little bit more of that, like you are okay if you think like that. It's much harder in US because you just need to grow. Numbers are made to grow.
Oh, I don't think so. I learned in the US there's also a nice community you can rely to. That's what I learned in US also.
But
But
culturally,
it's definitely the minority.
yeah.
It is.
In Europe, it's kind of a majority. Yeah, you see more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's more from the heart. Not here. It's here.
It's interesting because I know we're running out of time, but the two big takeaways that I have from today, I did not expect. Like, I really go into these interviews thinking I kind of know what you're going to say. There are going to be some interesting points or more details that I'll learn. But the two big takeaways for me are that mentorship is so key, and you can strategically approach how you set out to gain a mentor and how you bring value to that mentor's life so that you can share value with each other rather than just taking. I love that. And number two, aesthetic dentistry isn't scalable, and it doesn't have to be. That doesn't mean it's not the right path. If you have that aesthetic eye, you have that artistic eye, you have a passion for it, it is a decision that you can make intentionally to say, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to be the Michelin star. There's always, anytime you're good at something, there's going to be that point where you're forced to make a decision. Do I scale or do I maintain this beautiful thing I've created?
Yes, that's it.
And I think we all face that at one time or another. And I have yet to meet anybody who has a story where they chose scaling and I guess an artistic person. I have known a lot of artistic people that decided to scale up when they reached that success point. They're very stressed. And when I talk to them, it's like that little sparkle in their eye.
Scaling. Look, I went through the whole process, all the stages, exactly this point. And scaling, you need to have the stomach for it. You need to turn on a little bit, the I don't give a fuck button in you. It's not that you don't give a fuck completely, but you come from delivering customized, personalized, ultra high-end. It is the Michelin 3-star chef deciding to open a fast food chain to make more money, not judging, but you need to have the stomach to say, look, I'm going to pretend that this is amazing. I know it's not amazing. And I'm going to invest. I'm going to make marketing amazing. And you need more stomach, even more stomach, because marketing with money, marketing is amazing. Persuasion is amazing. And you know that the quality is not amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will buy into it because they will think that is amazing. And you know exactly what is amazing because you were amazing. So you need to make that decision, and no judgment again. I think there's space for everybody.
There is. And I do think it's really important. I hope what people will take away from this is it's really important to give yourself the permission for your success to look exactly like what it does when it feels right to you. You don't have to defend it to anybody.
That's a good point. You don't have to defend your choices of what success means for you.
That's right. So I would like to wrap things up with Andreas and I had a little offline discussion that I thought was really interesting. And it sort of is a segue to my next question. So I'll kind of let him take this one. But in your post, you made a statement that I loved. And it was, aesthetic intelligence is the final frontier of human dentistry.
Yeah.
Andreas, I'm going to let you ask Christian what we talked about today.
Christian, just give me one sentence on my question. In an era where AI can design smile design or a smile in a second today. I mean, I saw this. I've been 4.5 years away. I was most amazed of this, how quick this is. In this 4.5 years,
Yes.
I had no contact outside to dentistry. Interesting when you fade in. Yeah. And thanks for this invitation to be back also. But it was interesting how quick this is. You're arguing now that the most important skill in dentistry is something you can be automated.
Yeah.
That's what I see. Make the case, Christian.
Yeah. So we can see where digital technology is going. We can have a sense of where AI is taking us short-term, mid-term. We can already envision robotics and what is going to happen with that. But when you're delivering 3-star Michelin level restorations, 3-star Michelin level smile makeovers, every time I'm involved in the case and I have the opportunity to still try it in the mouth and check, I see an amazing rainbow of details, of nuances that you cannot translate into AI prompts. You cannot define, because for AI, then software, and then robotics to execute something, you need to be able to translate. And I say this because I'm involved in several processes of translating our know-how into systems that software and AI can replicate these things, right? And then give the orders to machines and robots to start doing some of these things. So I see that maybe in the future, you're going to be able to design, plan, diagnose, manufacture, execute in the lab and in the mouth 100% with AI and robots. There's probably a future somewhere. I don't know. 100 years, but so what is the last frontier? That's my question. Because if all of this is happening in the next 5 years, then everything that we are talking makes no sense wasting time with, because the solution is coming in 5 years. I don't believe it's in 5 years. I don't believe it's 10 years. I don't believe in 50 years. Some of these things for the top 3-star Michelin result.
Right.
So what are the things that are left, right? So when you're evaluating and modifying a smile simulation that a software gave you, why every time somebody that has a lot of experience with smile design and connects what is designing and how you're going to see in the mouth, and you already anticipate all the little things, and you have this amazing AI initial suggestion, you will always make some small changes and make it better, right?
Absolutely.
That's the lesson here. You can adapt the design to clinical possibilities. You need to be able to have the sensibility to understand what is possible, what is not possible with ortho, perio, implants, soft tissue, and bite. And
but then we come to the levels again, Christian. Then we come to these 5 levels.
100%. but you have.
I wouldn't
I
say
started
it's
to
I wouldn't say
outline.
3-star restaurant. Can be also a 2-star restaurant. Not using this amazing brand of Michelin, Christian. Don't forget this amazing
Yeah.
brand.
It's
Which is
amazing
crazy for
brand.
me.
It's
Oh,
the
fuck,
standard,
it's
right?
crazy. Are you using it constantly? And I would be happy to own this brand, you know.
I love it. I love everywhere I go. I want to go to a Michelin restaurant, right?
Look, but you go also to a 1-star or 2-star restaurant. They have probably also pressure to get another star, whatever. Or the guys with 0 get in 1. So
But
I think this
everybody
is
understands the concept, right? Everybody
Yeah.
understands.
So,
the concept.
but that's a good. I think you reinvented yourself, Christian. I mean, we know each other since 2000, whatever, 8 or somehow. And I think it's a cool education which you go through. So you come back, and this level should be. I mean, these courses I would go to.
You're my guest.
to
Both
see.
of you. Both of
And-
you
and-
are my guests.
Yeah, no, just to make a survey to see which level I am. To make it online.
I actually have
Christian.
a test. I developed a test to allow people to identify in what level they are.
How cool is this?
Yeah.
We
I
need.
mean, I would do this. I mean, I would do this for free online.
Of course.
To do it for free online, and they can see now I can attend this or this, and then you can go to a level 5 teacher. You know.
Okay, we're going to have to get a link to that test.
I will share. It's a Smile Design self-assessment test.
Okay.
There's seven
That's too long.
components.
This name is too long, Christian. Too long. Forget
It's
it.
fine.
My attention
Smile
span is
Design
20 seconds. You
self-assessment.
know. Huh?
It's just a test. You can change the name.
Yeah,
No,
please do it.
I'll say in the this video will kind of just live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll put in the description after I have access to that. I'll put a link if you'll share it with me.
This would be cool. I mean, that's a brilliant idea. You know.
Yeah.
Then I can sign up for level 5.
Yeah.
I want to see my test, Christian. I'm going to do it. Keep it
Yeah.
confident.
And, hey, I want to compare my score. I'm going to
Okay.
compare my score with
Yes,
you. I'm
of course.
predicting
Let's
3.
make a challenge here out of it. I want to challenge. I call a challenge to Galip.
Well, it's fun. The test is fun. We posted it. A lot of people are taking it. It's a preparation for the course because it allows.
Sure, but it's so cool. What a
Yeah.
brilliant idea.
Now I'll share the test.
Okay.
This has been, this is probably an interview that has surprised me more than any I've done. So thank you, because that's just a sign that you came ready to share everything instead of just the questions I was asking. And you really you both shared some really interesting things. I was just looking at some of the content or comments on the Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, they're already comments.
Yeah. So can I just share them with you really quick? Okay.
Of course, that's cool.
So I'm going to show this one from Muriel Deutsch. This is what I scream from the rooftops. Too many misconceptions everywhere, but too many do not want to believe it. Analog first, digital second, all day. Absolutely. And then I love this one. Let's see. Scaling has been the most challenging decision in my career. And I really think that's the case. The fact that you even get to the point where you have to make that decision, that's a benchmark of success right there. I think looking back on my own career, I can see like I should have celebrated that more. And it's great, Jeff, that you got to that point too. And then he says, still trying to keep high-end work, but scaling a little bit and still very hard to scale, keeping the same quality. So I just think that resonates with a lot.
Just having this awareness already allows us to grow with more quality. But the thing is that at one point we achieve our gold standard, right? And I had this discussion before when I brought this topic to some people. What is the gold standard in terms of structure to deliver the best restorative dentistry possible? And I have in my mind more or less what does that mean? You know, how many people working together, how many chairs, how many superstar dentists, the size of the staff, the amount of patients that you see per day, the amount of procedures that you do. If you think about it, it's not very difficult to imagine the curve, right? That at one point you're going to deliver the best, and as you grow more, quality will slightly go down, even if you are able to implement the systems to keep very, very good quality. And I'm not saying you cannot grow with very, very good quality. What I'm saying is that there is a gold standard.
Yes.
That is a very specific structure and size that allows you to deliver the best you can possibly deliver.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. We have taken a lot of your time, both of you. Thank you so much. Andreas, it is so cool to have you back in an Annex School episode.
Please come back.
Thank you. What a nice
back to the world.
What a nice entrance back, you know. I
Absolutely.
don't have the power it used to be, but I go slowly, and you're gonna see.
We need to meet and have a drink and talk.
Maybe
and by the way, I have to mention this. People are probably noticing I have a wall in my office here that I keep the most important pictures of my professional career. Okay. Only the people that really had an impact. I have all kinds of super cool pictures here with amazing people. You see Willy Geller there, Klaus Mutter-Thies, you see Livio, Andrea, you see Goldstein, Garber, Salama, Nitzan Bichacho, Mauro Fradiani, Eric Van Duren, Galip Gurel, everybody. And I just grabbed one of the photos of my special wall of moments to show this special moment here.
Oh, it's the two of you.
And that's Andreas.
So who is mentoring Christian?
He is telling me what to do right before the lecture.
Always.
He's like, this is how you do it.
I remember this moment. It was in Stuttgart at this art museum.
And you know, it's funny that you say that, Christian, because Andreas is that one person where you don't have to ask him to be your mentor. He's going to come right up to you and he's going to tell you what you need to change or improve without you even asking.
We call this in German clever shitting, you know.
Clever shitting. I love it. But you do it. And I have to say, anytime I've seen him do it, it's probably like, it's a wrinkle in my brain forever now. I'm like, oh yeah, that was really
I level 0 and try to be level 5, you know.
He knows the industry very well.
Absolutely.
You
both do. And I can't thank you both enough. I just had to pull this last comment up because it was so nice. This discussion has summed up what I've experienced over 30 plus years now. We try to communicate to young technicians and clinicians. So I think, like I said earlier,
thank you, Arian.
This can be a really, really lonely journey. And as you mentioned, any journey toward greatness is lonely. It doesn't matter what field you choose. So I love that we were able to sum up something that resonates with people. I think that it always feels good to know that you're not the only one experiencing those things. And thank you both for joining us. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, absolutely. We'll have more of these in the future. And thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye, Christian. Bye, Tay. Thanks for the invitation.